How can a baseball empire crumble in just a few short years? In 2019, Tim Anderson stood atop the baseball world with a .335 batting average and an American League batting title. Just 4 years later, his average dropped almost 100 points. He had the lowest slugging percentage in the entire American League and was designated for assignment the following season. What causes an elite hitter's sharp decline? Today, we're breaking down the puzzling collapse of Tim Anderson's batting prowess, from his meteoric rise to his sudden fall, and whether a comeback is even possible for the once elite shortstop. Through film study and statistical analysis, we'll examine what happened to one of baseball's most consistent hitters and explore if he can ever return to form. What if I told you that Tim Anderson transformed from a junior college player to an MLB batting champion in just 6 years? A player who once focused more on basketball than baseball until his junior year of high school somehow became one of the most fearsome hitters in the American League. His remarkable journey began at East Central Community College, where his sophomore season showcased extraordinary talent, a .495 batting average that led all junior college players nationwide. This performance caught the attention of MLB scout, leading the Chicago White Sox to select him 17th overall in the 2013 draft. Anderson's path to MLB stardom revealed a player with tremendous raw talent evolving through each level. In Kannapolis, he hit .277 while stealing 24 bases, showing his athletic potential. As his journey progressed to Winston-Salem, his average climbed to .297, though defensive concerns emerged with 31 errors. By 2015 with Birmingham, Anderson's offensive game flourished with a .312 average and 49 stolen bases, yet his defensive struggles persisted. "I always played with confidence. Even when I wasn't at my best, I believed I belonged," Anderson shared during his minor league days, a mentality that carried him through early professional challenges. Building on that early promise, his first 3 MLB seasons showcased a talented but inconsistent player struggling with plate discipline. But 2019 changed everything. Anderson completely reinvented his approach, focusing on making contact rather than power. His aggressive first pitch strategy boosted his contact rate to 83.4%, improving his effectiveness at the plate. The transformation was striking. Anderson's batting average jumped from .240 in 2018 to an American League leading .335 in 2019. He collected 167 hits while maintaining a .357 on-base percentage and .508 slugging percentage. "I just want to play baseball my way," Anderson explained in 2019, embracing a hitting philosophy that made him one of baseball's most dangerous offensive threats. Ironically, while his offensive game reached new heights, his defensive issues remained. In the 2019 season, Anderson led all major league shortstops with 26 errors and posted the lowest fielding percentage at .951. Nevertheless, his offensive production more than compensated for these defensive shortcomings. After 4 straight seasons hitting above .300, including an American League batting title, Anderson's career trajectory seemed destined for greatness. Then came August 6, 2022. A routine slide into second base during a game against the Texas Rangers that would silently unravel the swing of one of baseball's most natural hitters. What began as an unremarkable base-running play transformed into a career-altering moment. 3 days later, the White Sox placed Anderson on the injured list with a sagittal band tear on his left middle finger. This tiny tissue, barely millimeters wide, is critical for a hitter's grip. When damaged, can wreak havoc on a hitter. For Anderson, batting .301 at the time, this rare injury required surgery and abruptly ended his 2022 season. The injury struck at the core of Anderson's elite skills. The sagittal band stabilizes the finger during gripping motions, essential for the precise bat control that had elevated Anderson from an error-prone prospect to batting champion. Without this stability, his swing mechanics began to deteriorate, like a finely tuned instrument suddenly missing a vital component. When Anderson returned in 2023, his swing displayed telling changes. His once lightning-quick hands moved with visible hesitation. The confident, fluid motion that produced line drives to all fields had transformed into something tentative and mechanical. The statistics confirmed what experts observed. His ground ball rate soared to an American League worst 61.1%, while his isolated power plummeted to an AL worst .051, revealing a hitter who could no longer drive the ball with authority. These physical limitations triggered a cascade of problematic adjustments. Anderson began chasing pitches outside the strike zone with increasing frequency, abandoning the disciplined approach that had complemented his natural hitting ability. As Anderson struggled to adapt, another setback occurred. On April 11, 2023, he suffered a left knee sprain, further disrupting any chance of establishing rhythm at the plate. These combined injuries dramatically altered his career trajectory. The player who once dominated pitchers throughout the league went 379 days without hitting a home run, a drought unimaginable for the Anderson of 2019 through 2021. The physical toll of Anderson's injuries was measurable in statistics, but the psychological impact revealed itself in a more destructive way. As his batting average plummeted to .245, Anderson's behavior on the field underwent a transformation almost as dramatic as his statistical decline. The culmination came on August 5, 2023, during a game against the Cleveland Guardians that would forever alter the narrative of Anderson's career. The tension crackled through the infield when Anderson exchanged words with Cleveland's Jose Ramirez after a routine play at second base. The confrontation escalated rapidly, gloves tossed aside, teammates rushing from dugouts, the crowd's roar building as the two players circled each other. Then came the decisive moment. Ramirez connected with a right hook that sent Anderson sprawling backward, his body collapsing into the infield dirt as thousands watched. The image of a former batting champion lying defeated on the field became a visceral symbol of his fall from grace. The aftermath revealed deeper issues. Ramirez, typically reserved in his comments, stated that Anderson had been disrespecting the game for a while now. This confrontation represented the breaking point in a pattern of behavior that had deteriorated alongside his performance. The White Sox organization found itself increasingly at odds with the shortstop they once built their future around. The suspension that followed, 6 games in total, further fractured Anderson's already fragmented season. Like another crack in a foundation that had once seemed unshakable. The statistics painted a stark portrait of his decline. In 123 games during 2023, Anderson hit just 1 home run, his power evaporating like morning dew. His .296 slugging percentage ranked last in the American League, while his isolated power measured an AL worst .051. As one team analyst put it, the equivalent of a power hitter becoming a slap single specialist overnight. By season's end, what once would have been unthinkable became inevitable. The White Sox faced the decision of whether to exercise Anderson's $14 million club option. On November 4, 2023, they declined it, ending his 8-year tenure. The player who had once embodied the franchise's resurgence was now a free agent, his value diminished, his future uncertain. After nearly 3 months without a team calling, Anderson's career hung in limbo, a stark reality for a player just 4 years removed from an American League batting title. The baseball world watched with curiosity. Could a player so dependent on exceptional hand-eye coordination ever recapture the magic that abandoned him so suddenly? When the Miami Marlins offered Anderson a lifeline on February 24, 2024, it came with sobering terms. The 1-year, $5 million deal slashed his expected earnings by 64%, a financial demotion that mirrored his professional decline. Anderson reportedly accepted the terms with outward optimism but inward trepidation. "You're seeing a player struggling to reconcile who he was with who he's become," noted veteran MLB analyst Jeff Passan at the time. The anticipated comeback fizzled in Miami's teal uniform. Through 50 games, Anderson limped to a .202 batting average without a single home run, statistics that would have seemed impossible during his Chicago prime. By July 2nd, the Marlins designated him for assignment, then released him outright 3 days later. His dismissal illuminated broader questions about contact hitters in modern baseball. In today's game, where exit velocity and launch angle reign supreme, can a player who thrives on bat control rather than power still carve out a meaningful role? The precipitous nature of Anderson's decline suggests that once exceptional hand-eye coordination falters, recovery becomes increasingly difficult. Baseball history offers both warning and hope. Like Jose Bautista and J.D. Martinez before him, players who reinvented themselves after career nadirs, Anderson faces the challenge of fundamental adaptation. The difference? Those players demonstrated self-awareness and adjustability that Anderson has struggled to embrace. Can the brilliant batter who once sprayed hits to all fields find a way to evolve when his signature skill abandons him? At 31, Anderson's biological clock remains favorable, though his professional timeline narrows with each setback. The Los Angeles Angels minor league contract in February 2025 represents perhaps his final opportunity in the majors, a humbling reality for a player once viewed as a franchise cornerstone. The baseball world waits to see if Anderson can write his own redemption chapter or if his career has already reached its unexpected conclusion. In the world of professional baseball, excellence often hangs by the thinnest of threads. As baseball analyst Keith Law once observed, the difference between a good player and a great player can be just a few percentage points in performance. And once you lose that edge, it's incredibly hard to get it back. No story illustrates this fragile balance more vividly than Tim Anderson. Like a once brilliant star now fighting against gravity's pull, Anderson's tale reveals the precarious nature of athletic excellence. Those few percentage points, milliseconds of bat speed, fractions of an inch in positioning determine everything at the highest level. The margin between all-star and unemployed is vanishingly small. What does Anderson's journey tell us about the razor-thin line between triumph and downfall? His struggle reminds us that adaptation, reinventing oneself when the original formula falters, often separates those who endure from those who fade away.